What if fun is one of the most serious things you can do to live a happy and healthy life? We're tapping into the world's leaders, innovators, movers, and change makers to find out why fun matters to them, how they infuse it into their work and volunteerism, and what it means to live a fun and fulfilling life. This is The Power of Fun. Hello everybody, my name is Javier Salazar. I'm the CEO for Kids Up Front, and today I have with me a very old friend of mine. His name is Robert Manolson. He is the owner of Powerful Play Experiences, and he's been running this business for about, is it 15 years now, right, Robert?
I'm heading into my 15th year. That's crazy, Javier. That's
That's,
crazy.
I know we were talking not long ago and we were saying 13 years and like suddenly it's already 15. So, Robert, give us a little bit more of an idea, just for those that are listening that don't know what Powerful Play Experiences is. Give us a little bit more of an idea of what you do.
Yeah, well, what's powerful play experiences? Positive workplace, mental health for teams. It's all about the fun. It's all about the fun. And that's why Javier and I are always on the same page with how one should live their life in work and out of work. Because Javier and I and all the new direction for where your organization is going, we're pushing the fun. We're letting people know that permission to have fun is okay. It's okay. You have permission to have fun, especially during the workday. Especially during the workday. So I created a business for myself that's about inspiring workplaces to embrace the idea of more fun at work. We all need more fun at work. And you and I know that fun at work, happy teams, engaged teams, joy at work. You and I know all of that. That's good mental health. That's good mental health.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. I started the business with the intention of just celebrating the very simple idea that we all need more fun at work, and there is power to fun at work. And most recently, we've tied in the mental health message, which is more fun at work, happy and engaged teams, joy at work, joyous experiences, good connections with your coworkers. That's good mental health. So we're now pushing the mental health message as tying in very closely to the value of fun at work. So I facilitate workshops. I'm a workshop facilitator, both live and online. Can you imagine that?
Right.
Fun online?
It's gotta be. Yeah, yeah. It sounds different, right? But yeah, I guess with COVID now we're so used to it anymore. Anyway, but yeah. So, how do you find that we needed like? I mean, I think we obviously know, but how do you get to that idea that we need more fun at work, and how do you convert that into I'm gonna work, I'm gonna build this business
I'm
and
going to
and do
build
that?
a business and I'm going to take it to its 14th, almost 15th year. Do you, do you honestly think, Javier, that one day I woke up early one morning, 14 or 15 years ago, and said to myself, yeah, that fun at work thing, let's build a business around that. There's a good idea. Do you really think that's how it
I I've seen you have great ideas on the spot, so I don't doubt that.
Well, here's a choice. I'll give you a choice. The quick story behind powerful play experiences, positive workplace mental health for teams, fun at work is good mental health. Here's a choice. Would you like the the very authentic story that touches upon stories around my childhood and where play was so much part of my daily life, or do you want the more recent story, which is this is how I wasn't doing well in today's world of work as an employee, so I made the shift to an entrepreneur and then built the business. Which story would you like?
I tend to answer those questions when like you give me two choices. I tend to answer with both, but let's start with the first one.
Well, and I'm happy that you chose the first one. I'm happy that you chose the first one. How fortunate I was, Javier, to grow up in a neighborhood where all the kids in the neighborhood, now this is many years back, all the kids in the neighborhood were in and around the same age. And every kid in the neighborhood, and we didn't call it fun at that time. We just like to play. We just like to play together. And so I grew up in a neighborhood with tons of kids and tons of friends my own age. Very different from today because our streets were always crowded with kids playing. I mean, we'd get up early in the morning and we'd knock on doors and we'd invite our friends to come out to play, to come out to play. Now, whether we were playing ball hockey on the street hockey, whether we were playing baseball at the schoolyard, whether we were climbing the monkey bars at the schoolyard, whether we were walking the field looking for insects and treasures, right? Whether we went to the park to play on the swings, we just played. We just played. We played every day. That launched me into a whole thinking and a whole being around play. But I don't know it at that time when I'm a child, right? I don't acknowledge it. I just know that I'm having fun, playing
Right.
and being with friends. So, it I'm in high school. In Montreal. I'm graduating from high school, and I'm asking myself, what am I going to do? What am I going to do after high school? So I go see my guidance counselor, and she says, well, what do you want to do after high school? I said, I don't know. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. So she says- I'd say,
Yeah, that's the best question that they can ask.
it says on the door, you help us figure out career choices. That's why I'm here. So I say, well, I like gym. I do very well in gym because gym is another form of play.
Right.
But I said, I noticed in our high school here, I say, our gym teachers teach science and biology and chemistry. She says, yeah. I say, well, I suck at those three subjects. So I said, I have no goal to become a gym teacher to end up teaching chemistry, science, and biology on the side. But she says, have you ever heard of this thing called recreation? And I said, well, I kind of, yes, kind of no. And she says, well, recreation is work, it's planning programs, fun programs during people's idle time, non-work time. So you become a leader, a recreation leader. And you can work in recreation centers in your municipality. You can work at a YMCA. You can work at Boys and Girls Clubs. You can plan outdoor ed programs. You can work at a seniors cultural center and plan programs for seniors. You can work with people with disabilities. But you're working with people during their idle time, their non-work time, and you're planning recreation programs. How does that sound? Does that sound like fun? And I was
Totally.
immediately sold. Yeah, totally. And so that launched my career into recreation and leisure leadership. And I took 3 years of studies at the college level, 2.5 years at the university level. And look at me, I'm a recreation and leisure leader, planning fun during people's idle time. So if you think back to my childhood, playing out on the streets with my buddies and my friends, it was just a natural fit. It's just a natural direction. And,
Yeah.
that guidance counselor way back then is still alive today. And there's a few of us from my high school who maintain contact with her. Her name is Miss Oosterhoff. Miss Oosterhoff. And I'll never forget that day that I walked in her office. There's many things in my life that I've forgotten, but I'll never forget the day that she steered me in the direction of recreation. And it totally made sense because there I was, 16 years old, asking myself, what can I do that looks like the life that I've lived? And throughout my childhood and into my teens, all we did was play out on the streets with your friends, ball hockey, street hockey, football. We went to the park. We skated on the ice rink. Bikes. We went biking all around the community. So it just made sense for me as an adult to continue my career with this whole thing around fun. And everywhere I've worked, Javier, everywhere I've worked, it's about fun. Like I've worked at the Boys and Girls Clubs of Edmonton, right? That's
That's
fun.
awesome.
That's
Yeah.
fun. I worked at a youth center in Montreal, a youth center, before I came to Edmonton, planning rec programs for youth, and it was fun. I worked West Edmonton Mall in the promotions department, planning big special
Nice.
events at the water park. That was fun. Right? I even worked as a ride operator and a slide operator at Fantasyland, Galaxyland in West Edmonton Mall. So that's the story. You see, you just gotta follow
That's
your heart, Javier. You just gotta follow your
and
heart and do what makes
yeah, and
sense.
it totally. It looks like it was a passion of yours. Maybe you didn't really see it that way, like you said, but it was your passion, and then you just follow it. That's an awesome story, Robert. But let me ask you one more thing in there because you're saying recreation was on the idle time, but then you took it a step further, and then you got fun into the non-idle time because now you do the workshops that you do are at work, and so you're disrupting what's not the idle
Oh,
time and still bringing it in there too.
oh, you know what? Thank you for that. I didn't even realize that. That's fascinating. No, honestly, I didn't realize that. That the beginning was about recreation during what we would call idle time or non-work time. And now I've taken recreation in the form of powerful play experiences, positive workplace mental health for teams. And the message is we all need more fun at work, during work. I never knew that I brought the two together. I never thought of it that way, in that simplicity. No, I hadn't really in relation to where my original learnings or my education took place at college and university. So thank you for that.
No
Interesting. I'll have to
problem.
put some thought to
Glad to help.
that. I'm not sure
So
if there was a question there, but it sure was an awesome observation.
Uh, but I've heard you say a lot. Fun at work means positive mental health. Never doubt. You even have on your website that says never doubt the impact of fun at work. So what's that impact? So for you, it was very clear what it meant in your childhood. That's something you wanted to do and everything. What is the impact that your workshops now, going back a little bit to the beginning of the story, that your workshops have for those teams that you work with? Like what do you do with them? What's the result after you're gone?
Well, a couple of things there, and if I start sounding serious here, Javier, like just give me a cue and tell me to not sound so serious here. um, there's a long and extended history of diagnosed mental illness, not only in my immediate family, but in my extended family as well. And how we talked about mental health and mental illness back then is nowhere near as respectful as we talk about it today. There was very harmful terminology and use of words to describe someone who was mentally ill. As an
Right.
adult, I've come to realize when reflecting back on my childhood years, my years as a teen, and even going through college and university, how well I managed my mental health by virtue of the fact that fun and play was just part of who I am. Now I didn't have that awareness at the time because the way that we look at and think about and address mental health today is far different than the years that I was growing up. It is only through the past few years that I've come to realize. So spring forward, right? And we're much
Okay.
more comfortable, and we use appropriate language and non-hurtful terminology around mental health and mental illness. And it's only as an adult that I've come to realize that my life story, how well I adjusted, how well I managed, how well I lived my life with diagnosed mental illness surrounding me and my family. So that's been an epiphany for me as well. Like, wow, I did pretty good back then, And what were the contributing factors, in being able to, adjust and manage. My own parents' mental health and their mental illness. How was I living my life? So it's interesting that I can reflect back and now conclude with myself that there is value to sustaining let me take that back. There is value to holding a mirror up in front of yourself and asking yourself some of those tough questions around how do I live what am I doing right about managing my health? Not even mental health, my health. What are the
Right.
things that I'm doing right? And I've been able to ask myself those questions and reflect back and say, wow, I fun and play was just so natural in our community. It was just a natural way of being. That was not even probably, it was the number one outlet for me to best manage the crazy, and I use the word crazy in a humorous kind of way around mental illness, but to manage the crazy that was around me. So I know that if I can walk into a play experience with workplace teams, and somewhere along the workshop, the 2, the 3, the 6 hour workshop, pause and just ask everybody to reflect on their own health, their mental health in that moment, and have some pretty cool conversations with people about that, you're immediately making that connection, right? Because they have the experience, they feel better, and they can figure out the benefits on their own. And it was interesting that you asked
Right.
me the benefits, right? And I rarely walk into any play experience, with advanced benefits as to what will come out of the experience. Don't you think it's important that I allow people to figure that out on their own? That through an experience, a play experience with their coworkers, they can figure out the benefits individually and as a team? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, totally right. I think, yeah, I was thinking that there were some standards, right? Like some regular things that you see over and over. But you're totally right. Every group at the end of the day is different, and I imagine that some also on the other end, some may accept you faster than others, right? Some
Yes.
may let you break into that seriousness of the workplace a lot faster than others will try to keep you. I don't know. Like there's gotta be a lot of people that as soon as you walk in and you start doing your thing with fun and everything, they gotta put a barrier in the front, and they don't want to look and be and take part on all this stuff, right? And so I imagine again, there's obviously, like you said, multiple different benefits, but also that access to them quicker or slower, right?
And there are common threads. When an organization, and this is all pre-COVID stuff, right, that we're talking about.
Right.
This is when organizations would reach out to me, or a department within an organization, everything from a daycare to corporate Edmonton, to the Alberta government, to the oil and gas industry, to the the field of healthcare, to social work, to business, to youth services. Whoever called me from an organization, large or small, uh, I could look back on those years and say there's definitely common threads. And the most common thread that you were looking for me to share with you is people are looking for a change in everyone's relationships. Let me say that again. The team
Yeah.
leader is looking for a shift in everyone's relationships from where it is now, which is what the team leader would communicate to me. And they would often say things like, they don't communicate very effectively. They don't work together very effectively. They don't respect each other's differences very effectively. And so the common thread would be, oh, so in their relationships together, you want something to be different, right? You want more effective communication, improvement in working together, right? More respect for differences. Those are relationship building skills. Those are relationship building skills. So at the end of the day, the leader was truly saying to me, can you get my people to have better relationships with each other by working together, communicating together,
Right.
respecting one another, right? Those are relationship building skills. So powerful play experiences and fun, that's relationship building. You're looking at,
Totally.
what do you mean totally? You're looking at me like I'm
Well,
saying something new here.
I no, no, no. I'm following. I'm following you. It's that. Like I'm thinking. Like in my mind, I'm like, well, because an owner could be when they ask you for this, they could also be thinking of somebody else to come and give them a lecture on what it is to have good relationships or have a workshop on
Yes.
communication. But it's not the same. Like when you put them to play and they have to like break that personal bubble and laugh with each other and create those bonds and like that's when you're developing stronger relationships, definitely, right?
Okay, so tell me about your relationship with your son, your boy, because you know it. You can sit him down and talk up the kinds of relationship building skills you want him to apply and learn from. But when you go do it
Right.
and play with him with those giant tubes and the big connectors and build a fort, what's going on? What's going on?
We just play, right? And we're in the moment and we're doing whatever we feel is right, and we're talking and we're communicating and we're deciding whether we want to build a castle or an igloo, and like it's all happening in the moment. And there's I think there's a lot of that, what do I call it? Just communication, right? Like just understanding what we're trying to achieve. And if there's, I think another thing that I see a lot too when in this particular example that you're going through is there's a lot of flexibility on those plans, right? We might have started with the
Yes.
idea that we were going to build something, but then in the middle something changes, and we're open to get that feedback and to get that
Yes.
information and just change plans, right?
Okay, so let's pull out the skills, and we can use other words. We don't have to use the word skills, but for
Right.
now, we'll just use the word skills. So let's pull out the skills that you just spoke about in a play experience with your son, right? First of all, one of the more important skills that you're bringing, or one of the most important things that you're bringing to the play experience is love. You're sharing the love, right? And you're bringing
True.
the
True.
happy. You're bringing the happy right from the get-go. You're sharing the love. You're bringing the happy. You're making eye contact with each other, and you're sharing ideas, and you're getting happy with him and for him. You're making decisions together, collaboration, cooperation, shared decision making. You're thinking about how to build the fort. You're being creative together. You're being creative together.
Right.
And you're supporting one another through the doing, the building of the fort, right? And you're making new decisions as you move along by checking in. Checking in. That's another great skill, the checking in skill, right? We don't think of that, but that's a skill to check in, to check in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you're standing back and you're organizing, you're planning, you implement, but you're also bringing, you're also including your boy. So the skill of inclusion, and feeling part
True.
of something bigger than himself, all through play, all through fun, and wherever your relationship was before the fort, it has to shift to something happier, more connected, more bonded, more secure, more something. It has to shift at the end because all of that, all those relationship building skills took place in the fun, in the play. You don't think about it, it just happens. And it's amazing how people will be on their best behaviors when they're having fun and they're playing, right? So to come back just
Right.
very quickly to a point you raised about, people putting up barriers in my workshops or the bubble. Well, it's amazing how people will put on their best behavior in front of their boss who organized the team building workshop. But back to your point, look at all that took place in the experience. At the end of the day, all of that moved the relationship from where it was before to something even more powerful than it was. Tell me about how you might feel in your relationship with your boy at the beginning, before the fort. Tell me about how you might feel at the end of the fort. Can you do that for me?
Definitely. Yeah. And can I switch the example a little bit? Because I have one that got my attention a lot from Kids Up Front. We
Yeah.
had and it's very, very definitive, like very descriptive of this particular thing that you're asking me. We had a kid who is lives with his mom, and his dad comes to see him every weekend. But like they go out and they go to the park and have a walk and everything, and they didn't really like the kid wasn't really connecting with that because again it was just a walk in the park and the dad didn't really know what to do. One day we had the opportunity to send them to watch an Oilers game, and they came back and the mom wrote this like 3 paragraph email, or like I don't know how long, 3 page email, telling us about the difference in the kid's attitude towards his dad. She
Wow.
said she's like super excited and he wants to go with that again and everything because they had the opportunity to have fun together, right? Because they went there, dad knows about hockey, so they were talking and watching and seeing the game, and they had popcorn and like all this fun together
Yes.
dramatically changed the
Hey,
relationship
yes.
between the kid and the dad.
Awesome. So you've seen it. Your organization is all about
I,
that.
I know, but I know it at the kids level. So you're the expert with adults. That's why I'm asking.
Well, I'm not an expert with adults. I'm just an expert at acknowledging and recognizing that when
Right.
we insert fun, change happens. And that's all I'm saying. Insert fun into two people, three, four, or five, or more, and
Right.
ultimately relationships will change because fun is a wonderful spark to joy, to happy, to shared
Right.
decision making, cooperation, creativity, right? Respect for differences, leadership, followership, giving and receiving, reciprocity. Play and fun is a wonderful platform for all of those relationship building skills, which is why, and again, I'll come back to something you said a minute ago, I will never learn relationship building skills sitting in rows and rows of chairs in front of
Right.
a
Yeah.
PowerPoint presentation because it's only reaching one portion of my brain and it becomes stored content, which by the time I reach the door of the room where I watched the presentation, it's lost after the fact. I'm amazed at the number of people I've met in Edmonton, going back, 14, 15 years, who stop me in the streets and say, "Oh my God, you're that guy. You came, you came, you did I remember you had those boom whackers, right?" And I go, "Yeah, yeah." And they go, "Oh, that was so much fun." And I don't even know who they are, right? I don't even know who they are. And I said,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I've met 1,000 people. Yeah. So I said, "Well, how long ago was that?" They go, "Oh, that was like 8 years ago." And I go, "What?" "Oh man, it is seared in my mind." And then I say to them, "Have you taken a recent professional development course?" And they go, "Yeah, I took a program on computer software. Do you remember anything?" They say, "I don't remember a thing. I don't remember a thing." So
Right.
there's something about the doing and engaging in the experience. And so thank you for that story because the father and son at the park, not there wasn't an insertion of fun, no inserting fun. He didn't know how to
Right.
create fun. So the idea that you provided him with a with fun in a block of time, you inserted fun and said, go together and connect. I mean, you didn't say that, but you knew that through inserting fun into a time slot, it would elevate all those relationship building skills. Fun brings out the best of us, our leadership, our followership, uh, uh, respectful communication, respect for differences, checking in, and being creative, acknowledgement, recognition, celebration. All of that goes on when we're having fun. And listen, we're wired to move to the happy, not the sad. And everything we've just talked
Yeah.
about, those relationship building moments, we're moving towards the happy. So how could you not see a shift in the relationship between the father and his son? So they come back and they say, "Oh, we loved the game. It was so much fun." Right. And what else did you do for fun? Well, we bought popcorn. We shared a hot dog. When the Oilers scored, we cheered together. Yeah, and think of all what was going on in their relationship together at that moment. So it's pretty impactful what Kids Up Front does. They insert fun into relationships. Is it mostly between adult and child, or
It's like we focus on the kid, but there's always got to be an adult with them, right? We're not going to send a 10-year-old kid to a game by themselves, or
excellent? Excellent. Yeah. So you insert fun as a tool to create heightened levels of happy and love and strengthen relationships. And you insert fun into those two people, a parent, a child, or a relative, and a child. And you say, listen, go have fun. And let fun, I mean, you're not saying this, but in your Kids Up Front are thinking this. When we give you the gift of fun, who you are today in your relationship is now going to change. It'll feel happier. It'll feel more energized. You'll feel more connected. You'll feel more acknowledged. You'll feel more bonded.
yeah,
Because you inserted fun and you gave fun as a gift. That's a pretty powerful thing for an organization to do with two people, because
right,
organizations in your field do it with large groups. Camping programs, overnight programs, teen programs, gym night, at a recreation center, just an open night of fun, but always with groups. So you're doing something extraordinary when you're saying all we need is two people who maybe
right.
need to feel more powerful with each, need feelings of powerfulness between them. And what can we do to facilitate heightened levels of happy and joy and see the relationship shift? You know what? Let's gift them fun. Let's gift them fun. You don't even get your
I love how
organization,
you're putting it.
but you know what's the beautiful thing about Kids Up Front is fun can take any shape or form, right? We don't have to say, here's tickets to an event. That's just the thing. It's just the thing. It's the event, right? The more significance is, here, go have fun. And whatever thing we give you, the thing, an opportunity at a summer festival, an opportunity at K-Days, an opportunity at an Oilers game. That's just the thing. It's just the thing. It's the environment. It's the place. It's the location. That's secondary to what's going to happen between the two people. So what you're really doing is you're gifting people with the opportunity to be better, happier, more connected, more engaged through fun. Oh, and by the way, it's an Oilers game. Oh, by the way, it's an Oilers game, right? By the way,
Right,
it's
right.
to the K days. By the way, it's a free meal at McDonald's. By the way, that's secondary, because you're setting in motion.
Yeah, and you're totally right. Sometimes when you really when you're in that, I don't know, very deep space of having fun, you get lost in the fun. a lot of the times you don't even remember what you were doing. You remember the relationship and you remember what was happening and how you were feeling, as opposed to who was playing or right,
And let me support that. Coming back to the story of the folks who meet me on the streets of Edmonton and
right,
say, "Oh, I remember you. I remember those green shoes. I remember you. I remember you, the guy that brought fun to our workplace that day." And I said, "Yeah, yeah. What do you remember?" They go, "I don't know. I just remember it was fun." So what they remember is the
right,
feeling. They remember, and all of a sudden they're bonded with me again, because they remember the feeling of happy and joy and smiles, right? And connections. And all of those things are relationship building skills. That's building relationships. People want more happy. If I what you and I are selling, you know what we're selling? We're selling happy. That's all it is. We want more happy.
yeah.
That's it.
We're
The two of
selling
you together
smiles.
didn't, you didn't seem very happy after that walk together, right? Not a lot of happy going on. Let me facilitate more happy. Go do this thing and let the thing inspire, you know, relationship building, love, giving, receiving, listening, caring, hugging, kissing, all of that through the activity. Those are relationship building skills. So you and I are selling happy, and we can do it in all kinds of ways, you and I. Kids Up Front and Powerful
Right.
Play Experiences, we're on a mission to move people from not so happy or less happy to happy. And they do it through fun, and they discover themselves. They discover themselves in relation to others. They discover that a new feeling in that relationship. It's very powerful. You're tremendously underpaid, Javier. You're tremendously underpaid.
I hope my board is listening to this. So, Robert, let me add another piece to the conversation because I love what you're saying. I love how you're presenting all this fun in very easy way, in a very easy way to understand it. But we were saying all this is pre-COVID, so COVID added a layer of complexity to for you, for me, obviously in Kids Up Front, but for you too to bring all this stuff into the workplace, and so and it also added the extra factor of like it's been a year of a pandemic. People need fun. People are missing fun. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day that I asked him how are you doing, and he's like, well, I kind of like need to go out, and he started looking a little bit, little by little, started kind of putting his idea together of how he's feeling. He was saying, I want to go out. I miss going to a game. I miss going to this, and eventually he got to the point of saying, I miss having fun, right? So tell me a little bit about that layer of complexity and how it's impacting us, and what are you doing to help with that? Because you've pivoted your programs. So
Well,
this is a little chance for you to plug in your
yeah,
new
thank you.
your
Thank you.
workshops that you're doing right now.
Well, first, I want to say that was awesome what you just said, because what the gentleman was doing was thinking about those things. Remember things, which are the activities. I want to go to an Oilers game. Be it maybe he said, I'd like to go to a restaurant, or I'd like to go to a bar and have a beer. Those are the things, right? But he was so aware of what his need was, and his need was more fun, but he was
Yeah.
naming the things, right? And it's neat that he felt within himself that a sense of unhappy, right? He didn't use the words unhappy, but
Right.
even how you presented the story to me, I was watching you, it seemed like what you saw was unhappy, right? And
Yeah.
the act of inserting fun through things, activities, he knew that that would elevate his happy, right? Elevate his
Right.
happy, and that's a tough go during COVID. It's a tough go. I mean, if you just give me a moment here, I'm gonna grab something. And what do I mean by it's a tough go? It's a tough go because you know people are having to contend with. Let's see if we can do this. Can you see that? Isolation and self-care,
Yeah.
right? Some challenges around isolation and self-care, right? These weren't challenges that we knew COVID would put upon us when we first started the lockdown. How about this one? You know, Zoom fatigue.
Some fatigue. Yeah, definitely.
Zoom fatigue, right? These are all unfun. This is unfun. Here's another one that we, were challenged by. The act of break the routine, right? The act of
Yeah.
sitting in front of the computer for more than enough hours that we're traditionally not used to, and we don't have the engagement of our coworkers in front of us 24/7. So it feels very monotonous, very routine-like. And here's one other I just want to say that we've been challenged with. By virtue of isolation and non-connectedness with our coworkers, we're receiving less recognition and acknowledgement from one another.
That's true.
So, I've now had to step back and say to myself, what are some of these challenges that people are up against due to the new way of working? But you know what's really funny? Actually, it's not funny, it's fun. It's when the lockdown began in March of 2020, my business was shut down 100%. Simply because I do workshops with groups face to face. And I didn't pivot my business online immediately. Most significantly, I needed to learn the online world because I had zero experience at cameras, lights, talking, positioning. But I knew one thing. I knew that as I was practicing meeting people online, I can bring the best quality that's within myself, and that's fun. And so I said to myself, just be fun, just be you as you practice being online. And that was like an epiphany for me in the sense that I discovered that who I was offline, the fun guy, the fun person,
Right.
was being accepted now online. And I thought, wow, what a great learning for me to know so quickly that I can be myself online as I discover how to be online. But I very quickly learned that people were very attracted to the fun, right? And fun for me was plenty of smiles, plenty of happy, good energy, laughter, which they weren't getting because of isolation, lack of connectedness with their coworkers, monotonous routine, and of course, huge uncertainty. So it's only in the past 6 to 8 months that I'm now moving powerful play experiences online and beginning to put together what I feel very good about because people are telling me what they want. So it's not me
Right.
sitting here having a meeting with myself saying, wow, how can I bring powerful play experiences online? People have said to me, wow, it'd be really cool if we can get together and just have some discussions of positive mental health. Because Rob, you always seem like you're in a good positive mental health frame of mind. And that's the irony of there's an irony behind that, Javier, because you know what? I live and manage depression and anxiety. Right?
You
But
mentioned that earlier. Yeah.
yeah, so I show myself as being very, having positive mental health. And I do. But there's that whole other side to me in managing my own depression and anxiety. So I've created something called the Online Facilitated Discussion Group Series for more positive mental health. Because people said to me, I think we need a place to go to talk about mental health. And I thought, well, what if we organize people into little facilitated discussion groups online? And maybe we met so many times a month, for an hour and a half each, and just gave people an opportunity to connect, feel less isolated, feel acknowledged, feel recognized, right? And break the monotonous routine and feel happy again. And so that's one thing that I'm looking at, or one thing that you've helped me start that. You've helped me start that service, and I appreciate that. And actually, yesterday we started our fourth online facilitated discussion group, and it's made up of 5 people. 4 of them are guys. 4 guys. Can you?
That's interesting. Yeah.
Interesting, very interesting, very interesting. And
Yeah.
I'm in the process of formalizing something that I call your online 40-minute bite-sized play experience workshop. So I've been
That sounds
told
fun.
it sounds like fun. That was good. I was confronted, what was it, a month and a half ago? I met again some new people online, and they looked at me and they saw my banner and they went, "How come you're not doing this play thing online?" And you know what? I just went, there's a lot of reasons for that. A lot of reasons. But they challenged me to bring play online. And I'm happy to say that I've learned. Actually, let me take that back. I'm happy to say that I figured out how to do a play experience, a fun play experience online when everybody's on Zoom together. And
That's awesome. Now I'm really curious about seeing that.
yeah, yeah,
I wanna
yeah,
see
and
it.
you
Yeah.
should be curious because you need to be more fun.
I I'll get my team on that. So we'll do one of those workshops with you. So Robert, let me bring a little bit of, because I think we're a little bit on time, but um, I think that anybody that is looking to improve the, like you said, relationships, but in general improve the mental health of their employees, particularly right now with COVID and the isolation that we had, and it's been a long year, man. And anybody that is looking to again give your employees a little bit of a break and bring them closer and make them feel better, like you're definitely one of the ways to go, right? Like, hi Robert, talk to Robert. Your website is
www.powerfulplay.ca, and we're in the process of I call it COVID. COVID organizing the website because it doesn't necessarily speak to all the things I do during COVID. So we need to bring it up to
right.
COVID speed. But you can find me on powerfulplay.ca and just watch the videos. Watch the videos and have fun.
And you're also very active on LinkedIn. So
Yes.
that's another way to connect
Yes.
with you.
Yeah.
But so anybody that is looking
Thank
to
you.
inject some fun and get some of those benefits that you've talked about throughout this episode, connect with Robert. Definitely something to do. But I want to, Robert, ask you one last thing. Could
No,
you give us one?
I get to ask you one last thing. So, okay, flip a coin.
I
Flip a coin. Heads or tails.
Okay.
Tails. It's a coin.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, heads or tails. Roll it.
Let's see. I have heads.
Ah, you won. Damn. Damn. Okay, you get to go.
I'm glad. Cool. So one piece of advice for people, particularly at work. That's where you do your thing. But I mean, I'm pretty sure that it'll apply also for parents and schools and all this. But one piece of advice from your experience: what could people do right now to use fun in a powerful way to change their mood, to make their day better?
Okay. Get out of your head. That's my one piece of advice to everybody. Get out of your head that the value of fun in work, in life, at home, carries no value. And why I say get out of your head is because you're living in your mind. You're living in your head about fun based on your history with fun. So there might have been some moments over the course of your lifetime where there were embarrassing moments with fun or uneasy moments with fun. And you're locked in and holding on to them for fear that that might occur again through inviting fun back into your life or back into the life of your team. So get it out of your head. that you're getting in your own way. You're getting in your own way of moving forward on fun. Listen, I've experienced multiple episodes of depression and anxiety, and amongst many practices that I have in place in my life to live a happy and well-managed life, I'm on meds. I'm on meds. So if I can do this, if I could confront my own mental illness and find a place for fun in my life as a way to maintain good health, good mental health, I'm asking you to do the same. But you got to get out of your head and get out of your own way. You got to get out of your own way. And the beauty of Javier and Kids Up Front is that they get out of their own way and they help others get out of their own way. Because if we put too much thinking into this, and you and I talked about this, if we put too much thought into this, like most adults do, let me process that. Let me think about that. Yeah. Well, it ain't going to happen. And we know, even in the playfulness with your little boy, not a lot of thinking time. Just get out there and do it. And good things will happen. And that's the beauty of Kids Up Front. Not a lot of thinking time. Just go experience fun. Have a great time together. Feel good about yourself. Feel good about yourself in relation to the important people around you. And it's just that easy. Stop getting in your own way. Too much thinking, too much processing. The number one client who comes to me during COVID and before are the people who are out of their head in the moment and not getting in their own way. And they say, we can use more fun. What are you doing, Rob? We can really elevate people's mental health. Come play with us. It's the thinkers who ponder, process, rethink, reponder, reprocess. It's not going to happen because they're selling themselves on the idea that this is embarrassing, it's uncomfortable, and it puts them at risk. And that's the beauty of what you do in Kids Up Front. You don't even have to talk about that. Just do it. Go take fun, the gift of fun, and have a happy relationship with yourself, a happier, more secure, more loving, and with the person who's with you in the fun experience. It's so easy. There's no budget required for this. There's no budget.
Yeah. You can just go and have fun.
That's it. You bet. You could just go and have fun. That's it. There's no. When leaders say to me, "I'll have to check my budget line," I know that nothing will happen, because now they're equating fun to an expense, and they're looking at fun as needing to have an ROI, return on investment. So everything's attached to the dollar figure. The economy of fun. Oh my God, the economy of fun. Even when I say those three words.
That sounds like the title of your next book.
You rock, Javier. Kids Up Front rocks.
Thank you very much, Robert. Really appreciate having you this time. There's a ton more stuff to talk about, so maybe we'll plan another episode down the road. But thank you very much for.
Did you have fun?
Yeah, totally. I loved the way you presented everything and just so simple, right? Like, yeah. I think there's it's like you said, we get in our head and then there's a lot of process and we're thinking all these things and it's just as simple as having fun.
That's it.
So I really appreciate the spin that you put on it today.
Thank you very, very much. And we'll see everybody soon. Support Javier, support his team. Kids Up Front is one of the most unique youth services in Alberta, if not the most unique, doing what they do because of their belief in the power of fun. So support them. That's it.
Thank you very much, Rory. I appreciate it.
You bet.
Yeah, we'll stay in touch, and thanks everybody for listening. We'll connect with you in the next episode. Thanks. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Send us any questions or suggestions you may have through our website, kidsfrontedmonton.com. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you very much. My name is Javier Salazar. Stay safe and have fun.